All right, so you want to become a circadian dork. How do you do it? That is a great question. We're going to get to that. First things first, you got to switch your clock to Mother Nature's clock. And so I've already done that. At home, I'll show you what you would do. You're going to push the clock function, and then you're going to want to switch it to the right time so that it doesn't sync up with your cell phone. This time of year, being that it's July in North America, they tell us to switch our clock an hour forward, and they already do it for you on the cell phone, which is nice if that's what you want. For me, it's highly annoying, but so yeah, you can see here the clock says 3:18 on my cell phone, and the clock on here, if it were your house, it would say 3:18 as well, or somebody who goes by a time change. I don't, so I'm going to switch my clock to 2:18 and push start there. And now I am into Mother Nature's time clock, and so I can tell you the stuff that I'm going to tell you, and that's based off of Mother Nature's time clock. If you want to, switch that to the Pacific Sheep time that you're on, you're going to need to add an hour, But for me, 2:18 is the accurate time right now, and that's why on my clock, I still have another 42 minutes of UVB light, which is awesome. So the reason for that is that the UVB light is only from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m., but this time of year, with your guys' clock, that would really be 11 a.m. until 4 p.m., assuming that you haven't switched it yet. And so, yeah, that's a very crucial thing to understand, because UVB light is associated with vitamin D production. It's associated with melanin production, which melanin is the natural moisturizer that your skin produces so that you don't get burnt. And so, yeah, if you don't get UVB rays, you're much more likely to have skin problems. Skin cancers, all that different stuff is going to happen when you have a lot of UVA light and not a lot of UVB. And so, being that we're far from the equator here in North America, we don't get UVB constantly like they do at the equator. At the equator, just if I were going to tell you sunshine advice, I'd say get out and get in the sun, have as little clothes on as possible. But here you actually have to follow the clock and make sure that you have those couple hours off, which is why I say if North America ever wanted to get healthy, which I don't see that want yet, but if they ever did, it would be mandatory that from noon to 3 there would be no work, and that would be the time when year-round you can get out there and get your UVB light on, get your DHA in you, do all the benefits that come with just being out in Mother Nature, instead of trying to go and pay for supplements and pay for doctor's visits and pay for all these other ways to get back to a natural state that you should just be in. And so, yeah, the first and foremost thing that I'm going to mention in terms of becoming a circadian dork is that you need to wake up with the sun. If you're not waking up when the sun's coming up, then what you're doing is you're digesting your shit from yesterday. And I'm not trying to be gross, you just need to understand what's happening. When you sleep in, what our bodies are programmed to do is that when the sun is coming up, our bowel movements should be going down. And so if you don't evacuate that bowel movement quickly after the sun comes up, you're going to start digesting it. And so if you wake up, let's say at 8 or 9 or 10 or even later, whatever you eat as your first meal in the day, just understand that that's in addition to the shit that you already ate for breakfast. And I'm not trying to be gross, you just really need to understand that very crucial point. You either wake up and evacuate your waste, or your body starts to do the evacuating internally, which is a very dirty process, and I don't recommend anyone. So don't ever sleep in. I don't care how late you stayed up the night before. It's better to wake up, handle your business, take a nap later in the day. You don't want to ever sleep in past the sun. Okay? So that's the first part of becoming a circadian dork, and that part cannot be more crucial. The second part, I wrote down, already got to, the UVB rays thing. You need to understand that just because UVB rays are the beneficial ones, UVA rays have some benefit in that they mitigate vitamin D. So if you're worried you're getting too much vitamin D, don't, because whenever there's UVB, there's also UVA, and the UVA, one of the benefits of it is it does take out excess vitamin D from your system, and also the UVA is what's responsible for the tan or the burn that happens. And so basically what happens is the UVB produces a melanin layer, and then the sun shines on that, and the UVA turns that melanin layer darker. And so the sun recommendations of getting a little bit of sun in the morning and getting a little bit of sun in the afternoon being beneficial for everyone, that might be beneficial for everyone's skin tan, but as far as the health of your skin, the largest organ in your body, that is awful advice, and you don't want to go by that. So if you want to get the health of your largest organ in the body in check. You want to be exposing as much of it as possible to the sun. I tan naked. I recommend that to everybody. And yeah, you want to be getting it in every day. You don't want intermittent sun exposure where you go, to the beach once a week or anything like that. So yeah, I'm getting too much into the sun here, but yeah, the next part for the circadian dork clock is dinner. And so dinner, you want that to happen before the sun goes down. And so if it's not light out and you haven't eaten yet, my recommendation is just suck it up and have a big breakfast the next day. You don't want to ever eat once it's dark, because once it's dark, your body doesn't really want to digest anything. All the parasites and all the bacteria and all the crap inside you might be very hungry, and it might be giving you signals like eat, eat, eat. But at the end of the day, you need to listen to the human clock, which is based off circadian biology, which is based off of the sun. And so if it's no longer light out, you should not be hungry. And so just, try to go off that if possible. Everyone has their days, but it's very crucial to be eating and rising at the right times. And so that's a very important part. The most important part, though, when it comes to going to bed and nighttime and going to sleep and all that with respect to circadian biology, is just you don't ever, ever, ever want to use blue or white light. So if I were to flip on the light in here, you can barely see it got lighter, but it did get a little bit lighter. That light is blue or white light. The lights at your house are blue or white light. Incandescence, fluorescence, they're all blue or white light. And the reason that that's bad is because blue or white light tells your brain it's daytime. So if you wait till the sun goes down and then you flick on your lights, you just started a new day. You can, tell yourself, oh no, I still get tired. There's lots of reasons that we're tired in this country, and there's lots of reasons why people, when they lay on their head on a pillow, are able to go to sleep, even though they can't. But you gotta look at the other side of the coin, which there's lots of people who can't go to sleep, and there's also lots of people who just maybe, even though they go to sleep every night, they're never getting enough sleep, and so they run around feeling chronically fatigued all the time, which is most of our country. And so that's just a crucial point. I'm going to show you here what I use at night. And I don't stay up this time of year much longer after the sun goes down anyways. But if I'm going to be up, I use what's called a Himalayan salt lamp. And they're kind of pricey. Supposedly they give off some positive electrons that are good for the air also. That's not why I bought it. I just bought it because it has a campfire sort of glow to it. It has either yellow or orangish red light, just like our bodies were designed to be around campfires until bedtime. We also were designed to be around that sort of spectrum. And so when they've actually done scientific studies, and if you look into that sort of a light, it doesn't tell your brain it's daytime. Whereas if you look into a blue or white light, it immediately starts eating away at the melatonin that your body should have been building. And it does tell you it's daytime, and it is very detrimental to your body. So like Jack Kruse says, light is a drug. I'm a big believer in that, especially the blue or white lights. That's what he means by that. And I'm trying to think. I think that's about it. There's just a couple simple, quick things I wanted to tell you all that, it's free. Essentially, all this information you just basically need to incorporate in your life. It does take some discipline, like not using your computer, not using anything that's bright white light after dark. That might be hard for some people because they maybe been thinking about Facebook all day when they're at work or whatever the case may be. Don't hate the messenger. I'm just saying, for your health's interest, you don't want to be doing that stuff anytime other than when the light is out. So this time of year, we have actually a lot of time that the light's out, but in the winter is when it gets more challenging, when the sun goes down at like 5 or 6, let's say. That's when you really need to be diligent about using only the campfire lighting, or have an actual campfire. But you don't want to be using anything that simulates a new day, because then it's just speeding your aging process, messing with your melatonin cycles, and you're just going to wake up feeling drained all the time. So yeah, I hope that was all useful to you guys. You are now a circadian dork, especially if you switched your clock like I did. And yeah, see y'all in the next video.